Many seniors blame their age or their chair for back pain, but the deeper problem is how long the spine is held still, not just where you sit. This script will explain in simple language what sitting too long does to an older spine and how small movement breaks can protect your back without blaming you or your body. You might have noticed this pattern in your own life. You sit down for a few minutes to watch the news, check email, or talk on the phone. An hour or two passes. When you finally stand up, your lower back feels stiff, heavy, or even sharp, and you need a few steps before you can straighten fully. It is easy to think, "My back just hates sitting," or "This chair is terrible." Chairs do matter, but they are not the whole story. What really hurts the backs of many people over 60 is not a single bad chair. It is the combination of sitting too long in one position with muscles that are slowly getting weaker and joints that are quietly getting stiffer as the years go by. Inside your spine, something very specific is happening. When you sit, especially when you slump or lean forward, the discs in your lower back, the soft cushions between the bones, take on more pressure than when you stand tall or walk. Some estimates suggest that pressure inside the lumbar discs can increase by 40 to 90% in certain sitting positions compared with quiet standing. That extra load on aging discs, hour after hour, day after day, can irritate them and the tiny joints in your lower back. At the same time, the muscles that are supposed to support your spine, from your deep core to your glutes and hips, are not being asked to work much when you sit still. They get less blood flow, they cool down, and over time, they weaken and tighten in unhelpful ways. Your hip flexors stay in a shortened position, your glute muscles switch off, and your lower back muscles may have to take on awkward, constant tension just to hold you upright. Research on back pain in adults, including older adults, shows that prolonged sitting, especially without movement breaks, is linked with higher rates of low back pain and stiffness. Studies also show that simply standing up or taking short walking breaks every 20-40 minutes can reduce sitting-induced back discomfort and fatigue, even if the breaks are only a couple of minutes long. The solution is not to feel guilty every time you sit. It is to understand why long, unbroken sitting is hard on an aging spine and what you can do about it. My name is Dr. Robert Ellis. For more than 20 years working in geriatrics in the United States, one of the most common sentences heard in the clinic has been, "If I sit too long, my back kills me when I get up." The people saying this are not lazy. They are retired teachers, office workers, caregivers, and grandparents who never got a clear explanation of what sitting too long does to an older spine and how to sit in a way that respects their back. The system around you has not helped much. Modern life is built around chairs, couches, car seats, kitchen chairs, waiting rooms, church pews, office chairs, recliners, add phones, televisions, and computers, and a typical day for someone over 60 can easily include 6, 8, or even 10 hours of near-continuous sitting. Yet the main advice many people hear for back pain is get a better chair or work on your posture, without any real plan for moving differently during the day. There is a systemic enemy here, and it is not your willpower. It is the culture of long, uninterrupted sitting. From long drives to long doctor visits, from streaming shows to scrolling the news, You are encouraged to stay in one place, often for far longer than your spine actually tolerates well. Then, when pain appears, the blame is put on your age, your weight, or your bad back, instead of the way your day is structured. This enemy also shows up in the message that rest and sitting are the safest choices if your back hurts. Of course, rest matters when pain flares, but when sit down and be careful becomes the only strategy, it slowly erodes the very muscles and movement patterns that could be protecting your spine. Too much sitting can quietly turn your back from something that feels used to movement into something that feels fragile and untrustworthy. Under all of this is a hidden condition that many older adults never hear named: sitting-related deconditioning of the back and hips. This is not a single disease. It is a combination of changes triggered by too much chair time. Your hip flexors tighten, your gluteal muscles weaken, your deep core muscles become slower and less coordinated, and your spinal discs and joints are exposed to more static pressure than they can comfortably handle. You might recognize this deconditioning if you feel fairly comfortable while you are sitting, but your back screams when you stand up or walk after a long rest. You can stand and walk for a bit, but long car rides, flights, or evenings in a soft chair leave your lower back and hips aching. Your posture has slowly shifted forward, more slouching, more difficulty sitting up tall, because the muscles that should hold you upright have lost some of their endurance. This is not a character flaw. It is what happens when living tissue is underused. Muscles that are not challenged shrink and tire easily. Joints that are not moved regularly become stiff. Discs that are overloaded in one position protest over time. The good news is that this deconditioning is not a one-way street. The same body that adapted to too much sitting can also adapt to more movement, more variety, and more support. Over decades in geriatrics, there have been many older adults who believed they were stuck with sitting-related back pain because of their age or their MRI report. Time after time, when they learned to break up sitting, adjust how they sat, and add small, realistic exercises to wake up the back and hip muscles, their pain became less constant, and their confidence standing and walking improved. They did not stop sitting. They simply stopped sitting the way the modern world had trained them to. In the rest of this video, 3 practical strategies will be laid out to reduce the harm of sitting too long on your back, arranged from the easiest, lowest impact changes to the most powerful. For each one, the basic mechanism inside your body will be explained. A simple piece of research will be linked in plain language, and what it means for your daily life will be made very concrete. This is not about perfection or never sitting again. It is about becoming a little more back-aware in a sitting world so that you can enjoy your chair without paying such a high price for it when you stand back up. This is Dr. Robert Ellis. If you have ever thought, why does my back hurt so much after just sitting? Keep watching. The answer is not that your spine is broken beyond help. The answer, for many people, is that your spine has been asked to be still for too long, and there are realistic, kind ways to change that. Let us turn this into something you can actually use in a normal day, even if you spend a lot of time in a chair. Think of 3 layers of protection for your back: how long you sit, how you sit, and what you do when you are not sitting. Strategy 1. Break up. Sitting time. Lowest effort, big first win. Mechanism. The simplest change is not to throw away your chair, but to stop asking your spine to tolerate hours of stillness. When you stand up, even for a minute or two, the pressure inside your spinal discs changes. Circulation to your back muscles improves, and the tissues that have been compressed get a chance to breathe again. Your hips move, your core has to wake up just a little, and the stiff parts of your spine get a gentle reminder that they are allowed to move. You do not need a fancy watch or a standing desk to do this. You can use the natural breaks of your day as signals. Every commercial break, every time you finish a chapter, each new email or phone call. Stand up, walk to the kitchen, march in place, or simply straighten tall and roll your shoulders a few times. Even 1-2 minutes of change is enough to break the spell of long, static sitting. Laboratory studies have shown that sitting for prolonged periods can increase discomfort and strain in the lower back, while brief breaks of light activity, like slow walking or standing, can reduce that discomfort and improve how people feel in their backs. Other research on older adults links long, uninterrupted sitting with more persistent low back pain and worse overall function, while encouraging people to sit less, move more, helps both pain levels and health in general. Daily life relevance. In real life, this might look like standing up during every TV commercial block and walking a slow loop around the room. Setting a simple kitchen timer or phone reminder for every 30-40 minutes when you are at the computer. Standing and gently shifting your weight from one foot to the other while you talk on the phone. These changes will not turn you into an athlete, but over a week, they might cut an hour or two of continuous sitting into smaller pieces. Over months, your spine experiences fewer long stretches of unrelieved pressure and more frequent chances to reset. Strategy 2. Sit kinder, not perfect, supporting your spine in the chair. Mechanism. The second layer is learning how to sit in a way that asks less from your lower back and more from your whole body. When you slump far forward, head in front, shoulders rounded, lower back curved, the front of your discs and joints take extra load, while the muscles in your hips and core contribute less. Over time, that posture can lead to stiffness and pain, especially in an aging spine that already has arthritis or disc changes. A kinder sitting position is not about sitting like a statue. It is about giving your spine a neutral, supported base. That often means sitting back in the chair with your pelvis slightly tipped so your lower back keeps a gentle inward curve, not a deep sway, but not flat like a board. Using a small cushion, rolled towel, or the built-in lumbar support of the chair behind your lower back, so the chair shares some of the work. Keeping your feet flat on the floor with your knees about level with or slightly below your hips instead of tucked way under you or stretched far out. Your upper body can then stack more easily over your hips, so your spine does not have to fight against gravity with weak muscles. You can still lean forward or relax back from time to time, but you have a comfortable home base to return to that does not strain your lower back as much. Study reviews of sitting and low back disorders highlight that prolonged sitting in flexed or slumped postures is associated with increased disc pressure, muscle fatigue, and back complaints. Ergonomic recommendations for people with back pain often include lumbar support, hip and knee angles around 90 degrees, and regular posture changes as key elements in reducing discomfort. Daily life relevance. For you, this may mean adding a small lumbar pillow to your favorite chair instead of sinking deep into a soft, sagging cushion. Adjusting your car seat so your hips are not much lower than your knees on long drives. Scooting to the front half of a very soft couch and placing a firm cushion behind your back to avoid being folded into a C shape. You do not have to hold a perfect position all the time, but if you can set up your main sitting places, the recliner, the dining chair, the car seat, so they are more back-friendly, your spine will thank you for all the hours you spend there. Strategy 3. Wake up the anti-sitting muscles. Highest impact, done a few minutes a day. Mechanism. The third and most powerful layer is to strengthen and retrain the muscles that too much sitting has quietly weakened. These include your glutes, the big muscles in your buttocks, your hip muscles, and the deep core muscles that support your spine. When those muscles are stronger and more awake, sitting still does less harm because your body is better able to handle the transitions into and out of the chair. A simple starting point is the sit-to-stand exercise. From a sturdy chair, sit tall near the edge, feet under your knees. Lean your chest slightly forward and push through your feet to stand up, using your hands on the armrests or thighs if needed. Then slowly lower back down with control. This trains your legs and hips, not your lower back, to do the heavy lifting when you get up, which reduces strain on the spine. Another key move is a gentle hip extension or glute squeeze. While standing and holding onto a counter, you can slowly extend one leg straight back a few inches, keeping your back still, then bring it back. You should feel the work in your buttock, not in your lower back. Over time, stronger glutes help keep your pelvis and spine more stable when you stand and walk after sitting. Studies on chronic low back pain in adults show that programs that include strengthening of the hips and trunk, along with movement training, can reduce pain and improve function. Sedentary behavior has been linked to weaker gluteal and core muscles, and reversing this with targeted exercises can help take some of the burden off the lumbar spine during daily activities. Daily life relevance. In daily life, these anti-sitting muscles are what help you stand up from low chairs without yanking with your lower back, climb stairs or curbs without feeling like your spine is doing all the work, walk farther and stand longer before your back begins to ache. Practicing a few sit-to-stands, hip extensions, or gentle core stability drills, such as easy bird dog or standing marches, most days of the week gives your spine a more reliable support team. Then, even if you have to sit for long periods sometimes, appointments, travel, social events, your back is less likely to punish you for it. From less pain to more freedom. When you put these three strategies together, breaking up sitting kinder, and strengthening the anti-sitting muscles, you are doing more than chasing pain relief. You are building a different relationship with your chair and with your back. At first, this might just mean standing up a bit more often, rearranging one chair so it is more supportive, adding a short 2 or 3 minute exercise routine once a day. Over time, the benefits can grow. You might find that getting out of a car after a drive is less miserable. You might make it through a movie, a church service, or a family dinner with less back stiffness. You might feel more willing to say yes to outings, visits, and travel because you are less afraid of being trapped in pain from all the sitting. This is what escalation toward independence and longevity looks like in real life. Not a dramatic cure, but a gradual expansion of what you can do without your back stopping you. Better spine health supports staying in your own home longer, managing your own tasks, and staying engaged with people and activities that give your life meaning. You are more than a person who sits too much. It is easy in a world that loves perfect posture pictures to feel judged. Maybe you think, I sit too much, my posture is terrible, no wonder my back hurts. But blaming yourself does not help your spine stand up any straighter. You are not defined by your chair. You might be a grandparent who loves reading, a retired worker who spends time at the computer, a caregiver who sits for hours in waiting rooms. Sitting is part of your life, not a moral failure. The identity to lean into is not sedentary person trying to become a fitness person. It is someone who takes small, kind steps to protect their back in a sitting world. You do not have to join a gym or run miles. You only need to interrupt the longest sitting stretches, support your spine a bit better, and give your muscles a short, regular reminder that they exist for more than holding a chair. A gentle CTA and close. If this explanation of why sitting too long hurts your back made sense to you, if it made you feel informed rather than blamed, consider starting small. Tomorrow, pick one thing. Stand up every time a commercial comes on. Or adjust the chair you use the most with a simple cushion. Or do a few slow sit-to-stands once a day. Notice how your back feels at the end of the day and the end of the week. These are not big dramatic changes, but they add up, especially after 60, when every bit of circulation, strength, and movement variety matters. This is Dr. Robert Ellis. If this video helped you understand your back pain a little better and gave you realistic ideas you can actually use, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It helps more people over 50 find simple, respectful ways to care for their backs in a world that keeps asking them to sit. You are not too old to change how your body handles sitting. You are not too stiff to stand up a little more often. You are simply living in a chair-shaped world, and with a few gentle adjustments, your spine can feel more like a partner again, not an enemy waiting to punish you when you get up.